To Erdtree is to be human. To Skidoo-tree is to be something else entirely. Yes, I've got my revenge on these little twats by just sort of watching them get eviscerated and immolated time after time. I don't actually know if it's a good way of farming runes, because I don't, despite sitting up here for quite a while, I don't think I've got many more. But never the mind. Since last time, I've done a bit of scouting around, and have thus added a few markers on the map. Found a few sites of grace. I haven't checked the cross there. I mean, it's only going to be a text box, but you know, trying to keep the important stuff on stream. There's also something over there. Yeah, and when that's all sorted, we'll go into wherever this is, because we kind of need to get to anywhere else, I think. Although I suppose there's stuff over here, but anyway, some relative form of forward progression. Let me just check audio things. Yep, I'm there, and so is Stompy Dragon. Grand. Now, normally when I have a bit prepared, I say it's an anecdote in this case, and I think I've got time to go through it all, I get interrupted. Like the places we're going are too interesting and require conversation. But we'll see how it goes. Because basically, I've been sitting on a rant. He died of natural causes since about April, and I'm going to try and rekindle even the passion that I had back then and the frustration. So yes, at the end of April, I went to the Albert Hall, the Royal Albert Hall in jolly old London, paying an amount of money that was a mistake in retrospect, even before I had seen the show. And the show itself was Elden Ring, a symphonic adventure, so it is relevant. Now, what I thought that would be, I'd been to the Albert Hall for the first time the year prior, and I'd seen like an overall kind of video games live orchestra thing. I thought, that's different. That's cool that they're even doing that for video games nowadays. Back in my day, you wouldn't even get a look in, whatever a look in is. But yeah, they did that, and it was all right. You know, it was all right. It was a little bit, how should I put it? E3, a little bit sponsored, a little bit Summer Games Fest. But there were some good ones in there. They did a couple of Resident Evil 4, which I appreciated. And so I thought, well, I'll try it again, and I'll go to an Elden Ring specific one. What with the DLC coming out and all that. So I did, and I got there, and it didn't start off great, or even great, if I want to say it without being a prepubescent 14-year-old. Because, well, for a start, they had a big screen up, which I don't think you needed for a symphony thing, for a live music thing. You know, you can add to it with that, but ultimately it just ended up being distracting, and it wasn't great from the offset when the very first thing that happened was they played a trailer for the DLC, this DLC we're currently playing. Now that's fine, that's to be expected in some ways, but it is a bit tone-shattering when the first thing you hear in this fancy live orchestra place is a booming voice coming through the speakers saying, Peggy 18. And it's just like, what? Did you not test this? Did you not think that might be a bit stupid? Because it was stupid, and everyone laughed, rightfully so. It was no longer funny by the end when I realised, oh, that quality is indicative of the entire rest of the show. And now for the first interruption. I say interruption, this is what we're here for really, but carved the words coalesce. I abandoned here my eye, just the one. Interesting. He's doing it very piecemeal, isn't he? Also, everything looking very sulphurous down there. Oh dear, are we seeing through the game again there? Oh no, the ocean pops in when you look too closely. Yeah, there's this big spire again. I don't know if that's somewhere we'll ever get to. This might be the best look we've had at stuff around here without, well, with less of the fog. I'm also seeing red scenery over there, which immediately gives me scarlet flags. Then again, I don't know if it's even possible for the scarlet rot to be here, is it? Curious. Anywho, as I was saying, so that wasn't a great start, but, you know, would have just been, oh, a funny fuck up if the rest of it had been good. The rest of it was not good. Not really because of the performers, who I'm sure are quite talented. It was sort of hard to tell. But more the format of the whole thing. The aforementioned big screen was just a distraction because it played pretty much constantly footage of the game. And, you know, maybe you could block that out and ignore it and focus on the music, but it was playing sounds from the game as well. If anything, the orchestra itself was playing around what was on screen, and what was on screen was a mediocre, truncated Let's Play. Don't read too much irony into that, as I'm saying this. But, yeah, so that... I mean, I will concede that everyone else there seemed to really love it. So maybe it's just a me thing. But that kind of wasn't what I was there for. I thought it would be a pretty... a surefire win in a lot of ways, because all you have to do is... I say all you have to do is go up there and play the soundtrack from start to finish. And it's an excellent soundtrack, so why wouldn't you do that? But they didn't. They played maybe 4 that I recognised, and the rest were like, I don't know, soundscapes more like, as if they were trying to score the Let's Play that was going on screen. And as I said, the Let's Play was not great in and of itself. For a start, it was very heavily edited, so it was kind of a montage in places. And then it didn't really do the plot in order, which I know this is an open world sort of thing, but there are some, you know, plot beats that do go in a specific order. So that was weird. And it would also choose all the wrong things. There was a moment, yeah, where I was utterly baffled. This was arguably the killing moment for me, really, where it got to Placidusax, who is, in case you don't know, a very epic boss fight with a 3-headed dragon lord in the middle of a hurricane in a place where time has stopped. Sounds pretty metal. They didn't play anything for that. They skipped through that in a montage of about like 3 cross dissolves and 15 seconds, and then spent a weird amount of time focusing on like a repeated mini boss instead. And at that point I was just like, did the people who set this up, did they play the game? Do they even know what they're doing? Because this is just baffling at that point. And unfortunately, it being back in April, I can't remember every detail of it. And I'm also really struggling to find this fucking marker that I thought I had down. But yeah, so it was a lot of that. And as I say, you could have possibly ignored the massive screen if there wasn't sound coming through it. And it was sound of dialogue, which is one thing with NPCs and things. And that felt a bit condescending because it's like, I've played the game. I imagine most people here have played the game. That's why they liked it enough to come to a live concert of the soundtrack. I don't really need to hear a fucking Gideon in massive surround sound. As much as I love some of his dialogue, and he didn't even say. I'm pretty sure he didn't even say the Dolly Bother line, so entirely pointless. But yeah, so that's one thing. But they were also doing sound effects, which was really baffling, and it actually got to a point where I didn't know what was being played by the orchestra and what was just coming through the speakers, which is a pretty bad sign. Either of my hearing or the quality of the show, or both. But yeah, so it was that, and it went on like that for a good while, and that's why I couldn't find the bit, because it's down by the dragon, right? Yes. Let me just check it, because I went back to my poor friend M, who got an earful of it at the time, so I actually have something of a note, some notes. Yeah, just well, that's pretty much what I've said. Just like a glorified FMV, distracting from everything, and the focus was on that rather than the music. Like I say, the music was played around the visuals rather than the other way around. Apparently the guy next to me was also playing shit out loud on his phone and stank of beer, which, you know, is not the orchestra's fault, but certainly would have lessened the experience. I'm not sure the editor even played the game. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh. Yes. No, that was it. So I said they didn't play any music during Placidu Sax. They did. They did. It was... Let me get this right. 2 dings from a triangle. That's what that boss is worth. Something the fucking nativity play could have pulled off. So yeah, I was not thrilled with that. And as I say, it was kind of more annoying that everyone else seemed really into it, and like the conductor came back for an encore, which just seemed smug at that point. And yeah, just a really shit time, or to use my exact words, a profound waste of time, money, and an actually excellent game score, if they dared to play more than 10% of it. So yeah, that's my little story on the experience there. Not a fun time, not something I would recommend. I don't know if they're even still doing it, to be honest. I suppose you could argue that a symphonic adventure is different to just playing the soundtrack, but they at no point detailed what exactly it would kind of be. So yeah, just massively disappointing, really, and quite laughably bad in other places. I have nothing else to say for the rest of the stream. That was my bit, and now the mind has nothing else. Honestly, the mind is grasping to remember other things, but I probably won't, seeing as it's back in April. It was a weirdly hot day in April as well. We've had about a week of summer here in the UK, and you know, most of it is in July and then it quickly disappears, but we had 1 or 2 hot days in April for some reason, and I was travelling to London on one of them. So you could argue the context of it perhaps made me more narked off and less susceptible to it, but I do think it was legitimately quite badly thought out and implemented. Fort of Reprimand. Hello, Reprimand. Yes, we're firm friends of you, aren't we? Yes. Fun is back in town. Don't think you're any different to the ones we've fought before, but could be wrong. Yeah, that ain't gonna cut the cake. Oh dear. My soundtrack was cutting out there. Woo! Calm down. Fuck off. Nasty piece of work. So, I did also forget to mention... Yeah, you'll notice I've got that out in a vague hope to actually utilise some more of the content. I've decided we're going to put some points into faith. Since everything, you know, or most things interesting seem to be locked behind it. Unfortunately, being as we are massively over-leveled, I've only managed to put 1 point into faith. And even that took a very long time, which granted us the ability to use this. Which is quite disgusting and nowhere near as effective as when those rotty buggers use it against us. I think I have heard the one thing it is good for is staggering people, because every one of those is an individual attack, and a lot of the sort of poise breaking mechanics are reliant on sort of the amount of hits you get within a space of time, as well as the amount of damage you're doing. So maybe it'll be useful for that. I haven't found it that useful so far. I've found it even weaker than my other stuff. We did find one more Erdtree fragment, so hopefully we're a little bit beefed up. I think I heard somewhere it's like 4% increase each time. That might be totally wrong, but to attack and defense. So what were you doing here, old chap? Something heinous and fucked up? I can hear something flailing around in here. Hello? Mario? Lovely. Let me think. I think there was 1 or 2 new items we got as well. Oh, we made one of those, but we didn't... That wasn't a new item as such. Oh yes, we got a repeating crossbow. Don't know if we'll actually end up using that, but it looks pretty cool. It looks like something from Bloodborne, if I'm honest, but yeah, interesting. Probably try it out at some point. We also got one of those guys' helmets. A rotten odour stubbornly clings to it. Perhaps it arises from the tainted nature of the blood that splattered upon it. Or perhaps it is the wearer's own blackened soul, festering after endless laughter. Slaughter. So not only are they a pain to fight, they stink the entire time we're doing it. Like, sure, yeah, I appreciate that. That deserves more than 3, honestly. Sometimes just pointing out the obvious. Evening, gentlemen. Mental gen. Oh. Yes, this great katana has been, well, as the name suggests, really. Not there. That's why the recent things is there. Common gauntlets. Gauntlets of the rank and file soldiers. Pitch dark soot clings to it, much like the inner faces of the men who wore them. The inner faces. Festive grease? What? What does that mean? Seasonal hamburgers? What? I don't... Festive is not an elemental type we've come across before, I think. Coat's armament granting wielder trace amount of runes on landing attacks. Made from a mixture of bone shards. Coat's armament imparting a festive incantation that grants the wielder a scant few runes on landing attacks. The effect lasts only for a short time. The delightful festival is an old tradition, one old enough for the Erdtree to tacitly tolerate its endurance. Ah. So it's a Shadowland festival. It's making me think of the crazy old women in the village who were dancing about. And in fact, I think one of their weapons, a club or something, does increase the amount of runes you get. Or maybe it's item discovery, but I'm pretty sure there was something... I'm not going to be able to find it, probably. I might not even have it out, so to speak, because... well, no, we got quite a bit more strength now. These are the clubs, aren't they? Albinorix, that's not it then. Celebrants, lightning sky. Ignore the lightning bit, I was messing around. Large bludgeon decorated with flowers and many coloured fabrics. Ceremonial tool used by the dancers during the festivities of Dominula, Windmill Village. Striking end is a skull too large in size to be human. Grants trace amounts of runes on landing attacks. So are the crazy old women from here? Or simply recognising the seasonal festivities of here? Whoa! You're a sneaky little minge, aren't you? Are you hiding in the wall? Cool, that level of cheap is... yeah. Anywho, yeah, that's very interesting. More... oh! Hello! Fucking hell. Oh, you can't be fighting me today of all days. It's the festival. It's a time for happiness and dancing around and increased runes. I was going to say, I imagine that item is more interesting lore-wise than mechanically. When even the game is saying you don't get many runes with this, I feel like it's got to be like somewhere between piss all and fuck nothing. Won't stop some people trying to farm with it though. And those people might be me. Eat my weird threads. Oh, he did. Without hesitation. Yeah, see, it's really effective. Stop it, you big twat. You're ruining the festival. More than the rain is, anyway. That's 2 ambushes in quick succession, actually, thinking about it. Perhaps I should be on my guard. Nah. This is gonna fucking explode into... What was his name? Aldrich? No, Aldrich is Dark Souls 3. Fucking, you know, Dark Souls 2 guy. Is that... Yeah, there's a lift to be had there at some point. Yeah, the layout of this is quite similar to a lot of the other forts, like Castle Sol and such. I hear... Yep, there he is. Well, I saved the best for last. Is that just a dragon still stomping around that I can occasionally hear? I suppose he is only over there, isn't he? Oh, it's just a skull. Whoop. I'm not missing an obvious lever here, am I? No, doesn't appear so. Nothing much. I feel like there's got to be a bit more to this place. Ah, and just in front of him a fellow great katana wielder. Well, now we know that they smell like shit, we have, I don't know, a morale advantage against them. You'll notice I've got a few different spells out. I've given up on the, really? Why the fuck did I put that on the left hand? When was I going to try and do something with that? Oh, God. It's like Jekyll and Hyde being me. Except Hyde is just a moron. Oh, you're... Okay. Okay. He's more than the average bear. Erdtree. Well, I did not expect a boss fight. This was a stupid idea. I can't get that off in time. Right. You seem to just be a stronger version of those guys, though. With the wing stuff. Okay, I haven't really thought about this, so you've got to give me a minute here. Eh, that's not a minute. Arguably, that's damage, which is less than a minute. Woo! I want to go up the stairs, please. fucking delayed attacks. No. Your mother said that you're a very naughty boy, and I'm not allowed to hang around with you anymore. He can't possibly climb up a ladder. Not when he's got wings. Run away from the boss fight. That's about our speed. Hey, if I do it this way, somebody's falling off from a great height. And it's probably going to be me, but it's not guaranteed. Battlefield Priest's Cookbook. Okay, lovely. Oh, this would have been a good time for the fucking... Too late. Wait, really? Wait, what are you doing? Okay, for a second I thought we'd caught him in a... something. Stop it, stop. No. What we can do is use the... Ow. No, we can't. I was gonna say try and use the chest to our advantage. Well, that threw me for a loop. He just seemed like a regular guy. Regular as in someone we fought before. What's his deal then? Erdtree. So yeah, thinking about it, these are all Mesmer's people. You know, the Omen Killer's not going to be native to the Shadowlands. Oh, you're actually really easy to see when when you're not in the ambush zone. And so I guess Erdtree and his men took this place, killed all the people, and we even saw some of the pricks, like, I don't know, just standing over one of the corpses that had been there for ages. And going, oh, look at how greasy it is. It seems to be getting more greasy the longer it's dead. I don't know how that works. Okay, well, Now we need a strategy. Can we avoid you? I mean, in theory, you should be setting off already, because, like... Yeah, very clearly an eyesight here, but... No? Maybe they can't see shit through that mask. I don't know. No, I'll be on my way then. So you're kind of a boss, but no fog door. Okay, Yeah, I feel like that's a decent opening gambit, really. I wonder if I can even lead him out here, although that doesn't give me much advantage, does it? I'll just trigger all the other guys. In fact, until, you know, we actually get something for that, that really is kind of worthless. Whereas putting him to sleep might be a viable option. Decent damage. Oh, that was bad timing. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Nope. Fucky doodle lay. You can't have all the attacks. I need some. No. Nope. Fuck you. I need a break, okay? Oh, he's in a strop now. He's destroying the tables. Don't take it out on the furniture. Where you at, Fanny Magnet? Wait, that's a... Yeah, that was not an insult. That was... You could have added any other word but magnet and it would have worked. But... Can I get him to fall down the hole? I feel like you kind of should have there. And I feel like maybe I'm... dancing with death. Damn it! Their AI's so advanced they can walk around. Ah, not forever though. Goodo. Well, let's... Oh, fuck. He's too quick. That does seem to stagger him a little bit though, so... Oh, except for when he's doing all that. Right, don't fuck it up now. Woo! Get felled, you big fanny wazzock. Oh! And we got his wings! Let's check that out and see that we can't use it. Oh no, wait, it's an Ash of thing, isn't it? So we can. Sacred Affinity. Aspects of the Crucible. Wings. This skill originates from the life forms of the Crucible. Grow a golden pair of wings and take to the air before diving down at the foe weapon first. A spinning attack is performed when wielding a twin blade. But if you're not wielding a twin blade, you can just jog on. Usable on swords as well as polearms capable of thrusting. Lovely. We'll have to try that out at some point. I don't think there was anything else up here, but, you know. Oh, my scant amount of runes, I suppose. So that's where we started, I think. Are those the ruins of Rare that we were at before? I think they've got to be somewhere up there. Don't know what that is. Ooh, more chestage. Nothing else in this bit, I don't think. Do they ever hide anything in those anymore? Used to be in Dark Souls 1, you might actually find something. Now it's just set dressing. I don't know if there's ever items there anymore. I can only think of one in Elden Ring. In the on the way to the Frenzied Flame, doing that whole gymnastics course. In fact, it's a weird one because I think it's And I don't know how this makes sense in world, but only the enemy with their like frenzy laser can destroy it. You can't actually just roll into it. And yeah, there's no fucking way in hell anyone finds that out unless it's by accident or by looking it up. But yeah. Okay, I think we're done here. No, we're not, because we just said about the other chest. But how do we get to the other chest? We have to get where he is. So we have to jump off and then there's another ladder? Maybe? Well, we're going to have to fight you at some point then, so... Might as well lead you on a merry chase. Ow! Why'd you do that? Cooey! Or just stay down there, I mean that works for me as well. Made it a bit difficult to... Yeah. Oh, fuck. Bollocks. How do you jump on these without destroying them? Yeah, and if I jump up... Yeah, okay, so that's not it. No horse. Oh, fuck. Is it a matter of doing it from the cliffs? I suppose it'd have to be. Well, before I skedaddle around there then, oh actually, if it's from there, yeah, then I can just do that. Cool. Well, I have to head to an intermission, briefly anyway, so that's a good time to do that.